Hey, I need to talk to you for a minute. It looks like we're falling behind upgrade-wise. I really need you to push harder with developments. Take a look at the report. I've got to get ready for a debrief.
What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for round number 18 for the Mexican Grand Prix, the third from last round on the calendar, and pretty much getting towards the end now of season 3, and already got eyes on season 4, but like I said in the last episode, we've got a lot of important business to take care of this season before we can even focus on next season. But first of all guys, if you did miss the last episode at the last race in Kota, then I do urge you to go check it out because it had huge implications on the championship, and also I think it may have not hit all the sub boxes. So if any of you guys did miss the last episode, then I do urge you to go check it out in the card annotation in the top right hand corner, and also in the link down below in the description, because I believe that video didn't hit the sub boxes properly. But if you did miss it, there's a link so you guys can go check it out and get up to speed on what happened in the last race. But going into this race now, small little spoiler alert, myself and Raikkonen are very close for points, and Raikkonen is exactly 9 points behind me, I believe, after this race. So the pressure's on, and the title race is basically back on after the last race, after me DNFing for the first time, I believe, in this entire career mode. So Raikkonen counts off very lucky, but this weekend I'm looking to bounce back very strongly, because I need to get a result and also, re-establish my dominance in the Drivers' Championship. And as you can see right now, we set a very good practice session and a very good benchmark actually, and pretty much purple all across the board there. So one of the best practice sessions of the season. And we then move into Saturday, and you can see it's an absolute monsoon here at Mexico, and the rain was coming down, just absolute cats and dogs at the moment, and the conditions were very tricky, and I left it right until the end of Q1 when the conditions were drying up slightly to go out on the full wet tyres, and the track was at its best condition. So I went out to set a lap, and it was good enough for P6 at the time, and that would actually see us through quite comfortably into Q2. So a very good way to kick off the qualifying session. P9 compared to my teammate P5, Esteban Ocon there, getting a good result. But then jumping into Q2 and dried up to intermediate tyres, and I tried to wait and see if they could possibly be dries at the end of the session, but the track was just too wet, so we just went out in inters and put a good lap time in there, a couple of laps actually, and the second one was the better lap, and we managed to get a third place and go through in that position. So very successful Q2 session, and now we're going to go into Q3, and the track is still damp. You can see on the screen right now the track has still got some droplets, but there's only like 10 seconds to go. I left it right until the last second. I went out by myself manually as late as I could possibly leave it to try and set a lap time, because obviously dry tyres were in effect, and everybody in the top 10 now is running dries for this last attempt in Q3. So the pressure is on, there's no benchmarks, so it's basically pushing to the absolute limit what we've got to do for this lap. And so far, turns 1, 2, 3, we're very good so far, keeping it nice and calm and collected on the apexes, whilst also carrying good speed, as we now go into turn 4 here, left-hander, third gear, and then also I keep it in third for the next right-hander of turn 5. Obviously purple in the first sector, but everyone will be purple in the first sector, so it's going to be one of them ones where we'll only find out the reference point once we cross the second sector, if not the finish line. So right now, Sebastian Vettel goes fast as we now go into the S section, trying to find as much time as possible through here, pushing the limits and finding the limits of the circuit. As now Lewis Hamilton goes fastest in the Mercedes car, and now we're going to have representative second sector as Kimi Raikkonen goes fastest, and there we go, we're about a quarter of a second up in the middle sector. So far we're on for a good lap and on for pole position here as the last man to cross the line, as we now go into the stadium section here, the baseball stadium, now into the final corner right hand. A very tricky corner this one, especially these conditions. The traction is absolutely horrific, and we've got to try and keep a tight line to the inside as we come across the line. Are we going to get pole position in Mexico? I think it is, and yes it is, first place in qualifying. And what a qualifying session that was, and what a result that is. And that'll do very nicely indeed for tomorrow's race, ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. So the two championship leaders basically start on the front row of the grid tomorrow. So a very exciting qualifying session there. Valtteri Bottas only managing P10, and Lewis Hamilton in third ahead of Sebastian Vettel there, and Esteban Ocon in P7. But the exciting battles at the front, and the front row is the two championship leaders. So the race is set up beautifully for tomorrow. Dry conditions throughout, so it's going to be a good one. So hopefully we can have a good race. So without further ado, let's jump straight to Sunday for round 18 for the Mexican Grand Prix and the race. Right, so here we are then for race day at Mexico, round number 18 of the season, and P1 on the grid after a very good qualifying. And the man that joins me alongside me on the front row of the grid is none other than Kimi Raikkonen. So it's going to be the two title challengers on the front row of the grid here, and it's going to be a very interesting race here today. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we can have a good result and hopefully have a good race, because we need to really bounce back. We are 9 points clear in the championship, but Raikkonen is going to be looking to try and continue his good result from last time out, try and get another good result and try and gain some more points, because even if Raikkonen wins and I come home second, that's going to cut the gap down to 2 points, and that's going to mean a major, just major implications for the championship with 2 races remaining. So we can't let this lead slip now, so we've got to have a good race here today to try and bounce back. I'm going to try my absolute hardest to try and have some good race pace. I'm quietly confident that we've got a little bit of time on the AI around here, especially in the middle sector, because compared to last season, the car's really improved a lot, and I can really notice a difference in that second sector, and that's where I'm getting a lot of time. So I'm quietly confident about our chances, but still, we've got to put, you know, what looks good on paper, we've got to put that to test and actually, you know, bring it to the checkered flag in the position they want to be in. So hopefully we can achieve that here today. In terms of the race strategy, a fairly simple one stop, starting on the super soft compound tyre, which is what I qualified on, and sorry, I didn't qualify on that tyre, but obviously because we qualified in intermediates, I mean, we've got a free choice of tyres, so we're going to go for the super soft. I'm considering possibly going for the soft and switching it, and you know what, I think I might actually do that, to be fair, because I do like that possibility more. So we're going to start on the soft compound tyre and switch over to super softs instead. So there we go, we're going to make a little strategy change on the fly there, but also fuel wise, running it semi-marginal, 1 lap plus fuel, but I'm feeling confident. P1 on the grid, like I said, it's going to be a good race. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it now for round number 18 of the season for the Mexican Grand Prix. Right then, here we go on the grid. We're going to go up to the 5 red lights here for Mexico, and it's going to be lights out and away we go. Let's try and have a good start. We've got Raikkonen on ultra soft compound tyres, and look at the start difference there on softer rubber. So both of the Ferraris off to an absolute flyer. Sebastian Vettel on super soft also gets off to an absolute cracker of a start here, but Raikkonen leads the way into the first corner. Various cars slipstreaming each other here as we go into turn 1. I've got my teammate on my left hand side, but we're going to retake the lead of the race here. Raikkonen on my right hand side, a little bit of argy-bargy going on. We're going to hold it around the outside of Raikkonen though and hold on to the lead of the race somehow. I was not expecting that, but Raikkonen losing momentum somewhere through turns 1, 2, 3, and that's allowed me to retake first place. So we're back up into P1 here at Mexico. However, I'm not expecting it to last with Kimi on ultra soft tyres. So 2 tyres softer than myself. I think we're going to be in for a bit of a treat here today, and I think Raikkonen's going to be looking to go a bit more aggressive on strategy compared to me. So let's see how this race pans out. I don't think it's going to take long here, as here comes Kimi Raikkonen in the slipstream. DRS still not enabled, obviously, as it is only lap 2, but Raikkonen picking up a toe. He hasn't got an incredible amount of straight line speed, so I think we might just actually start pulling away from him here. So into turn 1, will he go for it on the brakes? No, he's not, so we're going to hold on for now for a little bit longer, but Raikkonen doesn't look like he has a straight line speed on me so far, so maybe I'm running a little bit more straight line speed aero, so that's going to hopefully help us in the long run for the battling this race. But Ricciardo now up into 3rd place. Vettel's lost a handful of positions, so it's me and Raikkonen breaking away at the front here, and I'm trying to set the pace on this soft tyre. Right, at the final corner, it's going to be a personal best 19.3. Ricciardo the fastest lap with a 19.2, but DRS is now enabled, so this time I think Kimi Raikkonen might have a little bit more momentum. I'm not going to battle him too much because I think he's got to be at least on a 2-stop strategy on them ultra soft compound tyres. I'd be very surprised if he does like Kota and pulls a 1-stop out the bag, but still, you never know, it could happen. But Raikkonen's going to go up the inside here. We're just going to sit behind him for now. He's going to have DRS out, so I get a bit of a sketchy exit, and he's going to take the race lead here in Mexico. So let's just see what Raikkonen does. I think I've got some okay pace to keep up with him here, and even though I am on the soft compound tyres, I don't think my pace is that bad. Like I said, I was quietly confident going into this race that I think I've got some pace up my sleeve. So let's see how this race develops. I mean, I might be completely wrong, and Raikkonen might just put the afterburners on and just completely go away, but for now, let's see what our pace is like. I reckon we can keep him within our sights. Right, so far Raikkonen is setting the pace. He's about 9/10 a lap faster than me, and he's getting most of that in the final sector, but Ricciardo can't get within DRS, so the pace is good right now, and we're controlling the 2nd place. Right, Raikkonen's coming to the pit lane as I pretty much matched my personal best. Pace was very good in that first stint, and Raikkonen was pulling away, but he was only about 5 seconds ahead of me, so that's perfectly manageable, and that's very good for me because that means my pace is very good. Also, Vettel now is setting the pace, and he's actually got past my teammate, and he's now chasing down Daniel Ricciardo, so he'll be one to watch out for in the short term. But obviously those guys on super softs, I think we can contain those. Even Vettel, I think we can contain him. So right now pace is good. As the laps go on, it's going to favour me even more because of the soft compound tyres. So right now things are very good, and I'm very, very comfortable with the car. Vettel now past Ricciardo. I'm still pretty much matching my personal best. 2-second gap to Sebastian behind, so let's see how much that gap comes down. Let's see how much we can control him. Try, if possible, to keep him out of DRS range. Right, onto lap 16. Vettel is just outside of a second. I think he's just outside of DRS, and I don't think he's got it, but he's knocking on the door, and he's got some good pace. I think I'll be okay to keep him behind me, but his pace is faster than mine. Right, I think Seb's coming to the pit lane, so now's the time for me to push. So we're going to crank up to rich mix, and we're going to try and avoid Sebastian doing the undercut. We've got about 2 or 3 more laps left in these tyres, so we're going to push. So let's try and see what we can get out of the car performance. Personal best pace is not incredible though, so I might just go back down to the standard, to be honest, because I'm not going to waste my rich mix if I'm going to set some not particularly impressive lap times. So let's just try and push in standard mix instead. Okay, so we've had a very, very solid and impressive stint on this tyre. I've got to say, pace has been very, very good. It's third best behind both of the Ferraris, but it's now time to serve one and only stop of the race here. So let's get it also down for the pit entry. Very good pit entry, to be fair, and nice and consistent, not speeding, keeping it somewhat within the track limits. And now we're going to see where we rejoin. I'm probably going to rejoin behind Sebastian Vettel. I tried my hardest, but also with a 2.8 pit stop, that's not going to help affairs. So I think I'm going to rejoin behind Sebastian, but I'm going to be on a faster tyre. So hopefully we can put it to good use and try and chase after the German who's going to overtake us right about now. So there you go, that's how much he's managed to gain on us in just 2 laps or so of an undercut. But luckily we are going to be ahead of Ricciardo, who's just behind us there down the road. So we're in at least P3. Raikkonen still has to stop one more time. So let's see how this one unfolds now in this final stint. I've got to push from now until when Raikkonen pits, because he's going to be very fast in that final stint of the race. So let's put these tyres to good use and try and chase after Sebastian Vettel. Right, personal best 17.6, incredible lap time, and we've taken about almost a second out of Sebastian Vettel that last lap, so we are catching him. We should be on the back of him in a couple of laps, and I'm not even using rich mix here, I'm saving out for a little bit later on. Right, Kimi in the pit lane, so he's coming in for his final stop of the race, and I think he's going on to another set of super soft compound tyres. So this is the gap he's got to make up to me right now, as he's just about to come off the limiter. So Raikkonen has got a lot of work to do. Meanwhile, I'm using rich mix in the first sector to try and catch Sebastian Vettel, whose pace is very good on that soft compound tyre. Oh, VSC, so something's happened. I know Ocon's got an issue with his car. I wonder if that's what's triggered it. Either way, this is a chance for us to save a little bit of fuel and hopefully deploy a little bit more rich mix when we need to, which is going to be very helpful for us in our chase of Sebastian Vettel. Also, it's going to help us just get these tyres to the end a little bit more easier, but we was catching Vettel quite nicely there, so I think we can get past him very soon. Okay, Seb's hitting some traffic here in the form of a couple of McLaren Hondas, which is going to help me out, but also I think it's going to give Seb DRS, which isn't ideal, so that's going to give him the chance to pull away from me, as I was just starting to catch him, and I don't think I'm within DRS of Sebastian. I think I'm too far back, and yes, I am the 1.4, I'm way too far behind, so that's going to suit Sebastian beautifully to get some DRS there. But let's see if we can try and get past these McLarens and not lose too much time. Raikkonen is on a rampage, he just had a fast lap last time out, so we've got to keep an eye out for the Iceman, who's on the hunt. And look at this, Alonso and Vettel coming to blows here as we just slip up the inside of Van Dorn, and we've got to try and make light work of these McLarens. Vettel though, he's just doing a good job of keeping the gap where it has to be, and it's not helping me because I need to get that first place. For some reason Ricciardo's in P3 and Raikkonen just dropped out. There was a yellow flag behind, so I wonder if something's happened to Kimi Raikkonen, because if that's the case, then we can afford to just bring the car home in second place, because like I said, Raikkonen won't be a threat. So I wonder if Kimi's had an issue, because I did see a yellow flag, so maybe something's gone wrong with Raikkonen's car. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, but for now we're controlling the race, things are very comfortable, and we can take a bit of a breather now because Kimi is not in third place. So like I said, we've got a 9-point cushion. Looks like we're going to be extending that one after this race, unless Raikkonen reappears. But for now, I think something's happened, and he sort of disappeared. Ooh, that was a flashback to the last race. Oh my god, with Ricciardo, that was a big flashback. Right, okay, I need to concentrate, because I've not been talking much this race because I've been concentrating. That's why there's not much like overtaking and action going on. But yeah, Raikkonen's had some sort of issue, I think, so we can afford to just coast the car home in second place now. Oh, safety car. What? That's a late one. What's happened there? No retirement from what I can see, so someone's had an issue, but that's a very, very late safety car. And the question is there enough laps there for me to maybe do a quick ultra stint and try and win the race? Because if it's a safety car, could I come out ahead of Sebastian? Or not ahead, sorry, could I come out ahead of Ricciardo and challenge Sebastian for the race win? I think we've got a chance here, so I'm going to crack on. I'm going to push at a relatively competitive pace, and maybe I think I'm going to come in this lap for ultras. I think I am, because everyone's running at a delta pace, so it might be a good shot actually. Right, Fernando Alonso out of the race, so we're going to come in to the pit lane here, and we're going to make a stop for ultra softs, and we're going to push this pit entry a lot and try and be aggressive with it, and hopefully this isn't a bad call. Like I said, as long as we come out ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. That's my only concern. So if we come ahead of Kimi, then it will be all good because we're going to be under safety car rules. So we should bunch up anyway on paper. So Ricciardo's going to come by now. So we're going to go down to P3 and Verstappen soon after. And I think, let's see where Raikkonen is. I think, right, Raikkonen's the next guy. So are we going to come out ahead of Kimi? Yes, we are. So we're going to rejoin ahead of Kimi Raikkonen on fresh ultra soft compound tyres, which is absolutely perfect. So if the safety car comes in this lap or the next lap, we're ready to race. And I think Bottas has just passed Kimi. So I wonder if Kimi's got the same idea as me and putting on fresh tyres and just going for an aggressive final stint. Either way, we're in P4. Hopefully, if we bunch up, then we can basically floor it on these tyres for like a solid 2 laps and see if we can maybe get something more out of this race and maybe even win it. Who knows? Because we're also in Limix saving some fuel. So this safety car might have just been a gift from the heavens if we get this right. Okay, safety car is in this lap. And Raikkonen, I can confirm, has pitted for ultra soft tyres. So interesting strategy from the Iceman. The question is, I think he's going to be too far back to really make it work. So I think Ferrari might have dropped the ball on the strategy there. But either way, here we are in the pack of cars. And we're going to go racing here. And we're going to have fresh ultras to basically deploy and try and attack both of the Red Bulls and Sebastian Vettel. So here we go then. Let's wait for the restart. We've got Bottas for company. But here we go. We're going to go green. Let's try and set ourselves up for a nice restart. Fresh tyres, good traction versus Verstappen on old softs. This should be fairly easy pickings here. Rich mix enabled. We're going to keep it in rich now for pretty much the rest of the race. So here we go. Getting past Verstappen. That's one guy down. We're going to get a tow off of Verstappen here and also off of Van Dorn, and now we're going to try and make a move on Daniel Ricciardo, who's on raw softs. A little bit of action going on with Ocon going very slowly here because of the blue flags. Ricciardo and myself trying to force our way through past my teammate, and that's just allowing Vettel to really stretch away at the front, which isn't going to help because I want to try and overtake him. But let's see if we can overtake Ricciardo here in fairly short timing and try and have one quick lap to try and chase after Sebastian Vettel. So here we go, very close to Ricciardo. We're just going to go for it here on the brakes, up the inside, on the fresh tyres, using the fresh rubber. And now, let's see if we can catch Vettel in 1.5 laps. Right, into the S section here. Let's see what we're like for grip compared to Sebastian, who will be struggling on those tyres here. We're looking pretty racy, purple first sector, and it's got to be a purple second sector, surely. So it's going to be a question of, have we got anything left in these final corners to go for a lunge on Sebastian? I'm not going to go into it here because I feel like us rushing it a little bit too soon. But we're going to try and set ourselves up for a move into the final proper corner. Can we go for it? I don't think we can. We're just a little bit too far back. But if there was one more lap, we'd be winning this race. Unfortunately, though, we're going to come home in second place. Vettel is going to win the Mexican Grand Prix. We set a fastest lap on the last lap of the Grand Prix. The question is, where did Kimi Raikkonen finish the race? Because he was P5. We saw that briefly, and he came in for a pit stop. So we've got to find out where Kimi is, but that's going to give me a massive points boost, and we're going to gain quite a few points on Raikkonen. I mean, it's going to be at least 18 points, and we had 9 before, so, I mean, I say at least 18 points. At max, it's going to be 18 points, at best. So if you add on 18 to the 9 we had before, that's 27 points. So that'd give us a big push and a big boost into the last 2 races of the season. So either way, Vettel wins here in Mexico. First place for him and a much needed victory. Ricciardo rounds off the podium and we come home in second place, setting the fast lap on the last lap of the Grand Prix. But now, let's go into the final race results and see where Raikkonen finish and see how the championships stack up. Right, so after that race, Sebastian Vettel wins the Mexican Grand Prix. We come home in second place, bouncing back after that disappointing race in USA last time out. And Daniel Ricciardo rounds off the podium. Bottas gets a 4th place, starting from P10 on the grid. Very good result for him, ahead of Max Verstappen. Romain Grosjean all the way up in 6th place for Haas. And Kimi Raikkonen finished in P7 in the end, recovering, or I believe, I think he was down in like P9 or P10 at some point. After he pit, so he managed to make a few positions up in the dying stages of the race. I think a few more people actually made a few more pit stops as well, so he managed to get 6 points in the end. And Hulkenberg, Magnussen and Palmer round out the points, with Palmer starting from the back of the grid and getting P10, so good result for him. Lewis Hamilton in P13, as you can see, so he got also a 20-second penalty for his troubles. And further down the order, you can see that Ocon finished in P15 after having a few issues that race, and both of the Saubers and Fernando Alonso retiring from the race. But in terms of the driver standings after that race, we are 21 points clear of Kimi Raikkonen with 2 races to go. So officially, it is now a 2-horse race between myself and the Iceman. And Sebastian Vettel, even with that race win, is now out mathematically of the running for the championship. So me versus Raikkonen, 2 races to go, is going to be very exciting. In terms of the constructors, Ferrari have officially won the Constructors' Championship this race, and they are now Constructors' Champions for the 3rd year running in the 2019 season. So very good result for them, and they'll be very happy with that one. But they'll be hoping to make it once again a double title swoop with Raikkonen winning the Drivers' Championship, hopefully in Abu Dhabi. But for now, it's going to be moving on to the next race in Brazil, and hopefully for that next race in Brazil, we should have a upgrade of the Ultimate Downforce coming. And maybe for Abu Dhabi, I'll try and purchase one more upgrade if I get enough resource points. But for now, we're going to jump back into the laptop and see how things shape up after that race. Right, so looking at the laptop, and for the next race in Brazil, we will have the major upgrade arriving, which is this one here for the drag on the barge balls. And straight after that, we are going to purchase this one here, the redesigned brake ducts, once we get the 900 resource points after practice in Brazil, and that should hopefully arrive for Abu Dhabi. And after that is going to be it for R&D this season, and that should give us a nice boost to a cap off the season in the aero side of things in the R&D chart. But that's going to pretty much wrap things up for this episode, guys, of Career Mode. If you have enjoyed it, then please do slap a like on the video. Also, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe for future F1 content. Also, do check out the last episode and also all the previous episodes in the entire season and the last 3 seasons of Career Mode with the full playlist link down below in the description. Also, check out these videos on screen right now, and do also finally have a look at GT Omega, and use the links in the description down below and use the code TOM97 for a 45% discount at checkout, as I almost got my words mixed up there. And yeah, guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you in my next one very, very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.